remember when we first spoke, and I remember I missed the first round because my fund hadn't closed in time. So I was trying to attempt to lead your very first round. Big regret on my part, or more my investors' part. But I remember we started the model and the discussion early in, this was sometime I think in 2020, at the ideation stage, around effectively lending, salary advances. But very quickly you were able to understand that you can also leverage that same relationship with corporations to start doing overnight lending and to then continue to upsell to them in all sorts of ways. So I'd love to hear about that. And I know I've done a couple other deals where you've actually done financing as well in my portfolio companies. So it's almost like you're becoming effectively a digital bank in the long run. So we'd love to hear the take and strategy that you're adopting.
Yeah, so I think at the beginning, the idea was clear focus. I think one thing that happens at the beginning is there's such a huge amount of opportunity in the market. You can easily get distracted along the way. So we wanted to attack a big problem that was going to be our first product to be able to launch. Now, giving out credit's very easy in the country. I'm not a huge believer of credit scores in the country either, just given the lack of data. The problem is, there's a question in terms of AI. There's no data in the country. Well, when we're lending, majority of the people we're lending to, it's the first form of lending they've ever touched. So we're really creating the data, which then AI can analyze later. But for us, we're saying, okay, what is a big manual pain point that you can digitalize? I think this was something which I've seen from an investment standpoint where companies that have got it wrong and founders that have got it wrong have come to a country or even within country and saying, yeah, this is a massive problem, like payments, for example. I think payments is a useless business. And the reason for that is because if you ask the average person, their pain point is not, oh my God, I can't pay this person digitally. It's like, no, I don't have money. I need money. Now, what is a manual way that people are accessing that capital right now when they can't access it from the banks? Because we know that where lending penetration is in the country, it was very evident. And again, it's not a Pakistani thing only, it's an emerging market thing. In fact, happens in the US as well, is that people would go to their family and friends and say, spot me till the end of the month until my salary comes in. And salary cycles in Pakistan, as we know, are just super elongated. Or they'd go to their companies and literally ask the HR CFO and say, hey, can you spot me and cut it from my salary when it's done, when you do decide to pay me. And we said, let's just automate that. If we just automate that, put a balance sheet behind it, then we can see the pickup rate really happen. And so that was really the idea of going market with that first, but knowing that this was not going to be the be all and end all. There are so many other avenues you can open up from there. We use EWA, for example, as our hook product before we go into other forms of lending to the customer, should we want to, right? That's one aspect. But then, as you mentioned, going and working with the businesses themselves, and this is where we believe we're a truly embedded finance platform. The switching costs away from us are fairly high because we're now embedded into your working capital cycle. We're embedded into your employee base when it comes to their access to salaries. In fact, most of the time, we're actually processing the salaries as well. So we're really one of those high friction platforms that exists as almost a ERP-like system within your company. So the idea for us was that very quickly, as we started turning on clients, that there were other avenues for us to really switch on using our technology already to be able to just build a behemoth even larger. So as you said, we've been able to, our verticals, though it's all lending, and Abhi, the reason why we called it Abhi and not something like salary advance, something like that, for example, the idea was we wanted to make sure that we were addressing the real issue. When do you need money? You need it now, right? So Abhi is, we will always be there when you need capital now, and that's how we tie in both into the business side as well as for the employee base.